Now, this is the story we are seeing in today's Zimbabwe. The Standard. The headline reads, ZANU-PF affiliates split over 2030 plan. What happened here? Remember, these guys would meet only 2 weeks ago at Pre-Cab Farm, but now we are hearing that they have split. So without wasting any time, let us jump into it. So picture this, President Emerson Mnangagwa, who is age 82, is still trying to figure out how to extend his stay in office like a Netflix subscription. Recently, he invited over 140 of his closest friends, also known as party affiliates, to his farm in Kwekwe. Alright, although this might sound like a good party, the ED 2030 party was only about the 2030 agenda and not the kind of fun where you get cake and balloons. No, this was more like being handed a loaf of bread and a pack of potatoes and told to chant ED 2030 while wondering if you accidentally wandered into a political information. Now, we're just going to read the first paragraph of this to get a context of what is happening here. What did you split here? ZANU-PF affiliates that gathered at President Emerson Mnangagwa's farm in Kwekwe recently are claiming that they were ambushed into backing a plot by the 82-year-old rural loyalist to push for the extension of his term of office beyond the constitutionally permissible 2 terms. The affiliates, whose leaders gathered at Pre-Cab Farm just outside the city of Kwekwe on November 24, were used by Mnangagwa to campaign for re-election last year amid indications that he wanted to win himself from the security forces that propelled him into power in 2017 in a coup that toppled longtime ruler Robert Gabriel Mugabe. At the Pre-Cab event, the affiliates were made to chant the ED 2030 slogan that have become synonymous with the ZANU-PF faction that has been pushing for the removal of the presidential term limits to allow the ZANU-PF leader to remain in power perpetually. Sources who attended the gathering said that most of these affiliates thought that it was just a mere visit to Emerson Mnangagwa's farm, but when they do arrive there, the tables would turn. Now, it is said this, the guests were drawn from ZANU-PF affiliates such as Young Women for ED and Apostolic for ED. Right now, all the guests, the 140 who traveled, believed to be over 140 actually, from Bulawayo and Harare, were given a loaf of bread each and a pack of potatoes each to take home back after the event. Right, so the guests were drawn from ZANU-PF affiliates such as Young Women for ED, Apostolic for ED, Young Women for ED, remember Information Communication Technology, Postal and Career Services Minister Tetenda Matera, who fronts the Young Women for ED, would be the one who will speak to the Standard. And what does she tell them? She says this, and she's quoted, modern farming practices from the president. Matera said it was not true that they went to Kwekwe to support the 2030 campaign. People have their own thoughts, and we will not subscribe to that. We did not go to the farm to endorse the president's term. As affiliates, we are happy that the president is in power, and it is too early for us to talk about term extension when the party has not made any position yet. As affiliates, we are there to toe the party line and do everything that's wanted by the party. Mnangagwa has on more than 3 occasions said he would not seek another term in office because he respects the constitution, which limits the president's term to only serving 2 5-year terms. Those behind the 2030 plot, however, continue to drum up support for him to hang on to power, and critics say his failure to call on the campaign could be an indication of his tacit support. At its annual conference held in Bulawayo last month, ZANU-PF passed a resolution for the constitution to be changed in order to allow Mnangagwa to remain in power despite the ruling party's head of legal affairs, Patrick Chinamasa's warning that it would be near impossible to do that. So basically, we are seeing these guys are backtracking. Is there another powerful force that people are worried about? So say, I know we are not talking about that. No, we are not. Okay, why would they say we are not talking about that? We saw them in videos over a long period of time talking about that. All right, of course they did talk about that. Why don't they say, no, we are not talking about that, but they would rather say we have stopped talking about it? It's different from we are not talking about it. However, one thing is for sure, what is happening here, it is a drama. As Tatenda Materia speaks on something to do with modern farming, what I think is happening here is a modern modeled politics. That is exactly what it is. Or what is it? Only time will tell what happens next. With that, I sign out.